Hello and welcome to From the Mic Stand here on our second. Seen it, a brilliant set there from Debris Disc. Really enjoyed it. Now we're just going to chat to him all about his music and his album that is coming out shortly. So, hello, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, enjoyed the set.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Now, for people who don't know that much about your music and yourself, just want to tell us a bit about yourself and what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I've been making music now for 25 years or
Oh,
so.
yeah,
Doing the Debbie Disc project for about 3 or 4 years.
sure.
Been in various bands over the years, playing around Manchester
Mm,
and so on. But yeah, I decided to do a solo thing a few years back. Just kind of settled back into family life.
right.
Didn't want a commitment of bands with other people,
Yeah,
so just
okay.
thought I'd do something
Mm,
on my own terms. And yeah, it just kind of developed from
mm.
there really, and in more of an electronic kind
And have you
of
always been a
direction.
fan of electronic music and that style of music? Or?
Um, well, yeah, I guess I probably started more on in the indie kind of side of things. I used to
Yeah,
play bass
sure.
and
Okay.
in bands, and then gradually just kind of got more and more interested in
Mm.
electronics and just boxes and buttons and
Right. Okay.
knobs that you can
Yeah,
twiddle and all
sure.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And is it different how you construct a song when you're doing it electronically then?
Yeah, I mean, when I write, so when I put the album together, I do it on like a really old MacBook with
Right, sure.
GarageBand, but
Yeah.
I use all hardware
Mm.
equipment, so it takes a long time.
Yeah.
I tend not to do things like that's in the computer.
Mm.
It's all hardware. It's quite labor intensive. I layer up all my tracks multiple times, so
Mm.
it takes a long time.
Right.
But hopefully,
Mm.
the sound is worth it.
Now, what I find fascinating is someone who's not have a clue about electronic music is all the different boxes and all the different things you've got. Just want to run through what you kind of what you have and what
Yeah,
you'll do.
yeah. So I mean, I've got because I've been doing music for so long. I've built up an arsenal of different equipment
Yeah.
at home. So on the album, there's loads of stuff used. But when I decided to put a live set together, I
Mm.
stripped it down a bit. So I wanted it to be guitar and electronics. So,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit different. So I've got the guitar, the loop pedals, all the effects and so on.
Mm.
But then they're all attached to a drum machine and sequencer
Right.
and synths, so and all kind of connected through MIDI,
Mm.
so I can do live looping and sequence things and make a bit of a kind of a mini one man band
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
setup.
Sure.
Is what I was trying to go for.
And are there any specific like electronic influences that have done for this album?
Yeah, I mean, my influences are varied. I mean, my kind of core influences are always Beach Boys
Right. Okay.
and the Delgados.
Mm.
They're kind of like my go-to bands. But as I've done the album, listened to some older electronic stuff, listened to a lot of OMD.
Mm.
They've been a big influence. And then been listening to a lot of Postal Service and
Oh yeah.
Hot
Sure.
Chip and Metronomy, LCD Sound System, and quite a lot of ambient
Mm.
stuff as well, where it's much more about kind of the textures.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
trying to just get a big melting pot
Mm.
of sounds in it.
Yeah, I was definitely hearing the Postal Service in a few of those
Cool.
tracks. So it's like, oh, I've listened to them recently. And the album itself, it's got a bit of a concept behind it. It's about some, is it war letters or something?
Yeah. So a few years back, my uncle started piecing together all the letters that my grandfather wrote during World
Right.
War Two. So it's letters dating from I think 1942 through to the end of the war in
Mm.
45. Most of the letters are ones that he wrote to his brother Fred back home. So his brother
Right.
was back home. He was in the desert rats, so
Mm.
he's in Egypt and moves around various different countries. But with these amazing letters, so beautifully written,
Right.
so much interesting stuff in there. Not so much about war and fighting, but it's
Yeah.
all the stuff around it.
Mm.
You know, lots of like boring stuff
Mm.
that happened, like mundane
Sure.
things, going to
Yeah.
the cinema and all that kind of stuff. But just the relationships
Mm.
and his kind of how he felt about war and the strange kind of relationship that you get through the letters between what he wrote and then his brother, because we've not got any letters that his brother wrote back, so
Oh,
we
right.
don't have
Okay.
anything that
Yeah.
comes back,
Mm.
only the ones that he wrote. So it's fascinating to go
Mm.
through, and yeah, it was just kind of a bit of a light bulb. Oh, this is
Yeah.
amazing thing to make an album about.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so I just
Definitely.
thought,
Mm.
oh, that's what I'm going to do.
And so you've recorded it all yourself? Was that in a home studio or did you go into somewhere? And
No, all at home. So a lot of it, well, most of it was done during the pandemic.
oh, right. Yeah.
So up in the spare bedroom,
Mm.
just when the kids had gone to bed or in the spare moment. So
Mm.
did it over 2.5 years. I
Sure.
think it took to piece it all together.
And are you someone that does all the like the mastering side and all that side
So-
as well, or do you work with someone?
So I do the writing, the recording, the production, and the mixing.
Yeah.
The mixing is the hardest bit in GarageBand with lots of equipment, but mastering I leave that to the professionals.
Right. Sure. And you were saying you're planning to do a vinyl release.
Yeah, so the album Post-War Plans is out next Friday. It'll be released digitally first, but then over the next couple of weeks, we've got a vinyl version coming out as well,
Brilliant.
which I'm really pleased about.
Does that have some of the things related to all the letters in the vinyl? Or
Yeah,
anything
so
like that?
yeah, so the artwork by my friend Gav, who runs a design company called Mode Equals Grey. He's pieced together the artwork, and what we've done is used loads of letters and postmarks and stamps
Right,
and all these
yeah.
different things that my grandfather had. We've got a lot of the original copies and kind of pieced together the artwork based out of those. So hopefully it'll look pretty good.
Yeah, sounds brilliant. So are there any shows coming up to like support the launch?
Yeah, so I've been playing a few recently. So the label that I'm on, Analog Trash, they put on a night over in Todmorden a couple of weeks back
Right.
with a couple of acts from the label, Cat Brian and Bayon. Played with them, and then hoping to do some more with them next year. But in the next few weeks, I've got a few gigs coming up. So there's Sheffield on the 26th of October in Sydney Matilda, and Eagle Inn in Salford on the 27th of October. So playing with a band called Lucy Dreams, who are coming over from Vienna. And there's some other bands on as well, Future Perfect, Happy Athletic, Video Kids, I think. So looking forward to them. And then next month, hopefully going over to Dubrec in Derby to play with St. Lucifer. And then, going to try and get lots of gigs and festivals for next year.
Sounds brilliant. So just want to remind people where the album is and where all your socials and things are.
Yeah, so Debris Discs everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads. I think I'm on there as well.
Yeah.
Album it will be available on Bandcamp, so that's on my Bandcamp or through Analog Trash's Bandcamp.
Right.
Also getting it in a few shops as well.
Sure.
So
Oh,
we
that's
can do
brilliant.
Records in Manchester. We'll stock it. Hopefully getting some more stockies as well. And Spotify and SoundCloud and all those places.
Brilliant. Thanks for being on the show. Is there anything you want to quickly mention before we go? Or?
No, well, thanks for having me. And just a reminder that the album Post-War Plans out next Friday, 20th of October.
Brilliant. Thank you.